Yeah, good morning everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so my name is Mr. CY. What did I say?
Mr. CY.
Yeah, so it's spelled C-Y-R-I-L. That's my full name. Okay, so it's actually cereal, but it's not the cereal you eat. So that's why I don't like when you call it. Because if they say cereal, they'll think it's the normal cereal like this. The one you eat like golden milk cornflakes, but I'm not edible, right? Yeah, so, but it's the same pronunciation. It's cereal, right? Yeah, but my name is, so you can just, instead of calling me cereal, like edible cereal that they eat, you just call me CY, it's still okay. You get it? Like, instead of saying cereal, you don't bite your tongue. Yeah, so today, the last time I came around, I had some discussion with the GSS students. But today I said we should just have some introductory session with you. So in case you guys will be interested to learn STEM, you know, I think you heard about STEM, right?
Yes.
So in case you guys will be interested to learn about STEM, once you have this introductory class today, and say, okay, I want to start learning how to build robots, how to build drones, how to build so many things on my own without me buying them online or buying them from the market. You can actually build this stuff on our own. Like for example, let's say if it's Christmas today, you want to like build a Christmas light that sings songs. You can also decide to build it on your own without going to buy them. You get it? Yeah, so that's why we are introducing STEM to your own level. So it's not just only the GSS that is going to be benefiting, you get it? Yeah. So I'm going to give you the introductory part of it. So I will explain everything, and I'm going to also write some of the stuff I'll be teaching you on the board. Because of spellings, you might not have it so easy to spell some of the words I'm talking about. So I'll spell some of them on the board, and I'll also explain them, and I'll show you the picture of them. So when you see, if I say what is this, you should be able to tell me, hey, this is the resistor, this is the diode, this is that. So you can tell me that with the picture. Do you get it?
Yes.
Right. So first thing first is when we talked about last time, I talked about STEM. I told you that this is an acronym, right?
Yes.
And this one gave birth to something else like this. So it's actually almost the same thing, right? But there's only one difference between them. So now let me now break it down. So in case somebody say, what are you learning in school? And I say STEM. And someone says STEAM. Now you see that at the end of the day, it's still in line. But because of the fact that we don't want your parents to say, oh, they are trying to make you guys to become an engineer by force. No. We are just trying to make you understand that technology is needed in every field. Whether you're a musician, you should know how to use technology. If you're a banker, you should know how to use technology. If you're an artist, you should know how to use technology. Do you understand? Yeah, so that's why they brought STEAM. So the acronym is science, right? Then T is what? Technology. Then E is engineering. Then A is arts. Then the M is mathematics. So if you look at this, it means you should have an idea in all these fields, in all these subjects. So you should have an idea on how to solve math. You should have an idea of science, like basic science. You have an idea of technology, like integrated science and all. Then also engineering, art, and maths. So that's why you see that it's everybody that needs to understand STEM. So unlike STEM, that art is not there. But in this thing now, you can actually do something like music and try to make robots sing or try to make a robot dance. That is the art of it now. You understand what I mean? Yeah, so this stuff is something that everybody needs to understand. It's not just for only engineering people. You understand? Because I know some of you want to become doctors, some of you want to become an engineer, right? Some of you want to become an actor, right? Actor or actress. So it means you should understand how technology works. So when you're acting, when you see drones videoing you while you're acting, you should not be surprised that what is this thing that is flying? Is it big? You should understand that this is a drone. Do you get it? You understand that it's a drone. And I know you've seen a drone before. But I'm going to still show you that as well. Okay, so now the first thing I want to explain to you, in STEM, what are the major importance? Why should you learn STEM? You can tell me why you should learn STEM. I'm going to talk about why you should learn STEM before I talk about the basic things I'm going to teach. Why should you learn STEM? You can tell me. So I'm going to give you just 3 importance of STEM, just 3 for your level. Now the importance, why you should learn STEM is number 1, it boosts your creativity. Creativity. That's number 1 thing to help you. So if you're somebody that draws very well, it can actually give you good IQ system to draw. That's why art is there. So if you're a person that also sings, it's also increase your creativity to sing well. So this is how STEM boosts your academics. So it's just like a kind of way to help your academics in school. Do you get it? So creativity is like you doing something that is different from what people have done. So it boosts your creativity. Can you see my handwriting?
Yes.
Because I write very small, that's what I'm asking. Then number two, it increases your IQ. So what IQ? In this way, I'm going to call it design thinking. Design thinking. So it kind of increases your IQ. When I mean IQ, I mean it allows you to think about how to solve problems. It gives you the ability to think about how to solve problems. So that's one of the importance of you to learn STEM. So for you learning STEM, it makes you think about, okay, what are the problems we are facing in Nigeria? How can we solve this problem? You understand? That's one thing that allows you to do. Let's say, for example, maybe you find the people in the north now, they are actually having issue of insurgents, Boko Haram and all that. You can think about, okay, how can I solve this problem? What about if I send drones to go and monitor those places that all those terrorists used to stay? Now, instead of you going there, so they'll not shoot you, you can actually send a drone to that place, right? That is the IQ, that is what we're talking about, creativity and design thinking. It makes you think, how can you solve a problem that people are facing? So that's the design thinking that STEM allows you to do. Then the last thing I'm going to also write is that it builds your teamwork. It gives you this kind of teamwork. It boosts your teamwork. So it encourages you to have a very good teamwork. When it comes to STEM, there are some projects I can give this particular seats now. I say, okay, I want this seat to design a traffic light that display red for stop, yellow for ready, and green for go. And I can tell this one to design a traffic light that says red and just green. So this one as a team should be able to think like, okay, how can we do this? How many minutes can we make our red light to show and the green light to come on? So these are actually what STEM allows you. It boosts your teamwork. It makes you have teamwork spirit. So you can actually work as a team. Not the one that this one be saying, I want my lights to show green. This one say, I want my light to show red. And you guys start fighting. So when you do STEM, it gives you enablement to work as a team. You get it now. Then let me just give you one last one. So I'm going to now go into practical. It allows you to be innovative. So innovative is just like creativity. But in this place here is, when you mean innovative, is like you have seen somebody that has solved a problem, then you try to make sure that the thing is doing something different. But creativity means bringing new ideas. Yeah, you bringing your own ideas. Do you understand the two different things? So let's say somebody has a plane. Now when the plane flies, the plane can maybe just move around. Then you want to make it innovative. You can put the camera there, so when the plane flies, you can actually take a picture of you while it flies. That's what they call innovation. You get it? So you making someone's idea better. By creativity means you bringing new ideas yourself. Do you understand the two difference? So that is what STEM allows you to do. So these are why you should learn STEM. You get it? So they can ask you, okay, what is the essence of you learning this in school? Should I pay for it? You should tell your mom that, Mom, it's increasing my creativity, that is IQ. IQ. Make you think differently. Then number 2 is it gives you design thinking. You can be able to design something and think, okay, how can I solve this problem? Then the next one is teamwork. It increases your teamwork spirit to work as a team. So even though you have like 2 male or 2 female, you shouldn't say, no, this one is a lady, she won't know engineering. Let us get guys, only guys can do this thing well. You understand what I mean? So it allows you to work as a team, whether you're a male or female. You guys can bring ideas together and make something work. You understand? Yes. It's not only the guys that know mathematics. There are some females that also know mathematics, right? Am I correct? I think there's some females that know mathematics too. So it's not only the guys. So it makes you work as a team, irrespective of your gender. So that's what's another importance. Then the last one is innovative. Alright? So you already see the importance of STEM. So is this something you should learn?
No. Yes.
something you should learn now? Like when you see the importance now, is it something that you should learn?
Yes.
Okay, so now let us learn STEM. Alright, so I'm going to introduce you to something. Now, you can see something is, I'm having something filming me, right? That's my mobile phone. That's the technology there, right? Instead of somebody using hand to hold it all through, the hand will be paining the person and say, ah, I'm tired of holding it. I just use a tripod stand to hold it. Tripod stand means 3 legs. Try means 3. So tripod stand is holding my phone. So nobody needs to hold my phone anymore. That is what? That is the STEM we're talking about. But initially I would have said, maybe the prefect, come and hold this phone for me all through the class. By the time you hold it, you'll be like, this one is wicked, dude. Just give me this to be holding since. And you not write anything. So that is STEM for you. STEM is making it easy. They've already built this one, so just mount your phone, then you'll be teaching. Nobody's stressed, right? Alright, now the next thing I'm going to show you is, in STEM, we're going to just talk about introduction to circuit. Introduction to circuits and robotics. So I'm going to just talk about these 2 things. I'm bringing these 2 things because I'm going to just the surface of it, just introduction. When you mean circuit, robotics, there are 2 things, they are similar, as in they have some relationship to themselves, not similar per se, but they have some relationship to themselves. So when you mean circuit is something like has to do with wires, electricity, do you get it? Moving from one place to another. You understand what I mean now? So you can have something like electricity moving from one circuit to another. So I'm going to introduce you to circuits, and I'm going to give you some electronic parts that you can build on your own. But I'm not going to major more on robotics. I will talk more on circuits. So when I mean circuits, first thing is, what is electricity? Yeah? No, you can write it in full if you can spell it. I just abbreviated it, intro. So intro to circuit and robotics. But we are going to talk more on circuits, not on robotics, because the people that are doing robotics are the upper classes. But I'll still give you an introduction to this. I'll just show you the component for this one. But the major thing you are going to do, which you are going to build at the end of the day, is also on circuits. Alright? Basic circuit. So when I mean basic circuit, there are some basic things you understand. First thing is electricity. How does electric work? Right? So you can actually see something like this. Maybe let's say a battery. Let me see. Then you have, let's say, a lamp. Yes. Battery, lamp. Then so this is my battery. I can call it cell. Then this is a switch. Why I'm bringing this is you're going to build something like this, and this is the LED. But let me go. I'm calling it bulb because I want you to understand what I mean. So I'm going to show you the picture of all these things so you see it. So this is like a simple circuit. A circuit is the movement of electricity from one place to another, or movement of current from one place to another. So this is simple circuit. So I can call this just simple circuit. This is a simple circuit. It has a battery or a cell. So I can call this place battery or cell. And I know you guys have seen battery before. Yes. Yeah, so battery is the just like the one that has the company that has the power. So when you plug it to this bulb, it now makes it come on. Why this one is a switch. So if you actually take this one to this side like this, like if it's it's like this, if you clean it and join it to this place, it's going to come on, right? Then if you then separate it like this, it's going to be off. So that is why they call it switch. So they can use button as well for it. Button and switch can actually do the same thing. So let me put it in brackets. I'm putting it in brackets so you know the similar stuff. The similar name for it. Okay. Alright, so first thing is LED, which is the light emitting diode. So I'm going to give you the full meaning of it later on, so I'll write it. But I just want you to connect with what you have at home. Most of you know bulb, right? So that's why I'm using the one that you can really connect with. So the bulb is the one that brings the light. So you guys, at the end of the day, if they ask you to build maybe a simple circuit, it means you need majorly 3 components, if you look at it very well. You need the energy, the one that supplies the energy. You need the switch that's turning it on and off, and you also need the bulb. Right? These are the 3 things that can make up a circuit. So they can ask you to just do a simple lamp holder. So whenever you come to your house, you can just come on. Oh, there's no light. This place is dark. You can just press your light on. Just come on. It means you need just 3 things. You need what supplies the power, which is the battery. You need the switch or the button, and you need the what? The bulb, right? So, but if you look at the other word, I put some other things there. I call this on cell. So it's another way for calling the battery. And the second one, I call this switch, I call it the button, right? Then another name I call the LED, I call it the bulb. I call bulb LED. But now let me tell you the full meaning of LED. Because I know you might want to know the meaning of LED, and I'm going to show you the picture. LED means lights emitting diode. So that's LED. So this light emitting diode is the component. I'm just trying to list all the components that I wrote there. So let me show you the picture. So this is a typical LED that is here, just like this. So this one, if you look at this one, let me see if I have the other one that has 3 colors, like a traffic light. So you can also do that. Okay, so we have this. This is also LED. But if you look at this one, it's like traffic lights. It has the red, the amber, or the yellow, then it has the green. It's also LED, but this one they join them together. Now, this one is also an LED as well. But this one, if you look at this, you see it has like that's several wires, right? Now, this LED is called the RGB LED. So, but they still fall under the same light. They all of them brings light. Once you plug battery to it, it brings out light. You get it now? So that's what they call the light emitting diode. I can ask you, what is the meaning of LED? You need to tell me that it's light emitting diode. So this is the LED. This is RGB LED. This is like a traffic light kind of LED. Then we also have some single LEDs as well. Okay, I don't think I have any single LED. I'll show you. But the single LED is just like this. It just shows one color. That's what single LED is. Maybe next time I'm going to get it, so we are going to do a practical on that LED part. So, hope you've seen the LED.
Yes.
Alright, so now the next thing I'm going to show you is okay. So I'm going to show you something. When you have this, for example, when you have this current that is moving round, if this battery is too full or is fully charged, and this bulb is just small as this one I show you, what will happen to the bulb? It will burn. Thank you. So it means there's a component that we need to bring in to make it reduce the power. Who can tell me the component? There's one new component we should bring in so it will reduce the power so it won't burn. That is now when the new component comes in, and the component is called a resistor. So this is a resistor. It's very small. Look at it. This small component, it can reduce the power and it's going to make it not to burn the LED. Because this guy can be very full, like 9 volts, and this one wants to glow, right? It wants to shine. So because of the power is so much, if you put in resistor, it can reduce the power to a favorable one for the bulb not to burn. So I'm going to draw the circuit of it now. I want to include one, so I'm going to include the resistor. So who can tell me what resistor does here? It's just to reduce the what? Reduce the what? The current that is passing through the circuit. It's just to reduce the current. It's to reduce the current that is passing through the circuit. Yeah. So if I have to draw this thing again, if I have to draw this stuff again for you, I'm going to draw it like this. This is a sign for resistor, right? Though you might not know, but this is it. Then this is the bulb. Then the switch. then the battery. Yeah. So this is when there is now a resistor. This is the resistor. This is the light, LED. This is the battery. And this is the switch. Yeah, you can draw it. Trying to tell you that we have now made the circuit complete and safe. This one is not safe. I was just trying to make you understand the basic thing, the basic components. But for you to have a very safe circuit, because when I give you your components to build now, you should always have 3 things, 4 things in mind. You should ask me for where's my battery, where's my resistor, and where is my LED. Unless I give you a battery that is not very powerful, you might not use this one anymore. Do you understand? But if your battery is very full, then you should be asking me for what? For the resistor, because if you plug it immediately, your LED will just blue, and you don't have any light again. I will show you. Right? So there are. If you look at it now, how many components do we have in total? 4. And you can tell me the function of each of them. Battery supplies the power to it, right?
Yes.
Resistor reduces the current.
Yes.
That's what I wrote here. Reduce the current. Okay. LED. It emits light. Light emitting light, so it emits light. Switch. Yes, so switch is to turn it on and off. That's why every time you look at your TV, let me put switch, so you see switch. Every time you look at your TV, you see that your TV has a button that is round. So to turn it on and off. That button that is round, you look at it that it has something like 0 and 1. 1 means on, so when you press it, 1 means on. When you press it again, it also go off, right? So that's on and off. 1 means on. Let me just write it there. 1 means on. Then 0 means off. Yeah. So that's why you have your switch, then press it goes on, press it goes off. Yeah, you have a question before we just go into I think I'll just talk about robotics now, because okay, the other part I want to talk about is potentiometer, but I'm not going to really talk about this because you already know resistor. So this is also a kind of resistor. They call it potentiometer. Potentiometer is like okay, potentiometer is like variable resistor. But I may not really talk about it because it's more advanced for the other class. But I just want to let you know that instead of you putting one resistor, you can also put something like this. This one allows you to increase the brightness of your lights and also reduce it. So this one is better because you can increase the brightness by yourself. But this one, once you put it, you don't need to change it again. It will be steady. Do you understand what I mean? But with this one, you can say, I want it to be very bright. You just turn it like this. Then you want it to be low, you also turn it back. So they call it potentiometer or variable resistor. Do you want me to write it on the board? Okay, so let me just include it. But they call it variable resistor or potentiometer. It's actually for the advanced class, but I'm just telling you because you also might do something like that later on if you want to learn more about it. So it's called it's under resistor anyway, but I'm going to include it at number 4. Potentiometer or variable resistor. Variable resistor. Right? Alright. So yes. No, P-O-R, potent, P-O-T-E-N. Potentiometer. Alright, so I think we are almost done. Okay, the 2 last thing I'm going to do. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to give you something as the final thing. A breadboard and a jumper. A breadboard and a jumper. So whenever you are building some circuit, sometimes all these things are connected like this. You don't really, like, you can't just connect it like this. All these things are wires. I didn't tell you about all these lines. All these lines are wires. All those lines you see, they are wires. And those wires, you can only connect it with this. That they call jumper wires. Because wires conduct electricity, right? It's the electricity that is moving from here to this place. So that's why you need the jumper wires to work with. But now, if you are building a circuit for the first time, Anytime you're building a circuit for the first time, you must work with a breadboard. A breadboard. So let me include it here. Write it down. Number 5. The last thing that I think you need for your circuit is your jumper wires. And number 6 is going to be the breadboard. Alright? So the jumper wires, then the breadboard. So what are the uses of the jumper wires on the breadboard? Oh, sorry, is that? BO? This one? Jumper wires. So WI. Number 6. Bread. Can you spell bread?
Yes.
Yeah, so bread. B-R-E-A-D, right? Breadboard. So why did they call it breadboard? Because it's when you want to view something, you just plug it into it and it stays like a bread. Like this. See, I want to put this stuff now like this. So that's why it's called breadboard. So it has wires connected to it. So if I want to plug this thing to a battery, this one, I'll just put this jumper wires like this. I'll just put it like this now and put it inside. See? So it's always where you build your first project. Once you are done with this project, then you can now take it to maybe to solder them together or something. But this is where you build your first project. You build it on a breadboard. You get it. So this is the breadboard that allows you to connect. See, when you see you can connect your components like this. Look at the pin. This is the jumper wire pin. I will just connect it like this. And it stays. So that's why they call it breadboard. Because it's something that allows you to connect your components. So I want to connect this component, for example. I can also equally press it like this inside of it. See? So that's why it's called breadboard. It's a board where you do your project first before you take it outside for just to showcase. You test your project here first. Alright? Then the jumper wires, it's like, you know what jumper wires does, right? Wire is just like a connection. It's a conductor that makes electricity to flow through. You know what wire is? So this is just like what connects wire from one place to another. So if I want to connect this wire to a battery, I'll just plug it here, then connect it to a battery. But I'm going to do it practical later on. I just want to show you the basic thing you should have in mind. I think that's all.
Okay.
Yes. I talked about both things. Okay, I want to show you. Okay, I want to show this button and switch. Yeah, I've not showed you. I talked about switch. Yeah, so this is actually an example of a switch. But in this place here, it's not a switch. This is a button. When you press it, it goes down and comes up. So this is actually a button. So you can use it. What is that? Are you having a problem? So you press it down, come up, press it down, come up. So you switch. Then this is the final thing I'm going to talk about today. We are going to shift in these robotics later, but I'll give you one thing about robotics, just one thing about robotics. So this is the button, right? Or switch. You have seen it. Okay. Then I'm not going to include this one here, but I'll just talk about it. When you see your Christmas light, you see that there's something that's always making sound. That thing that's making sound is not a speaker, it's called a buzzer. So this is actually the thing that makes sound in your Christmas light. Something like they'll be singing one kind of slow song. That's what he's singing. So he's buzzing several frequencies and it's giving you as audio. So that's why you see when all these things buzz, it's the art of steam that makes all these things work. The art of steam. At the end of the day, it's engineering, science, math, and arts. Do you get it? So that is just what you're looking at. For the robotics part, the only thing I just want to introduce to you is this. The microcontroller. Everything. Okay, I know, write it down. So, I'm just going to introduce you. We're not doing this one. It's the upper level, but I just want to show you. So when you get to their stage, it's not be a new thing to you anymore. So this is what, when it comes to robotics, there's something that controls the robots. Most of you must have seen robot before. Okay. Okay, now if you don't see robot, I have a robot here. I have a robot here. And this robot is a flying robot. So So this is called a drone. D-R-O-N-E. So this is a robot, but in this case, it's a flying robot. So every robot are being controlled by something. And what controls them? What controls them? Joystick controls them, but there's something that controls them in the like a brain. What controls them like a brain is the microcontroller. That's why I just want to introduce to you as robotics. So we are not going to do much about it. I just want to tell you that there's something that controls it, which is the microcontroller. So this class, for microcontroller and everything, is for the upper class. But I just want to let you know that when they say, what is the brain of every robot? It's the microcontroller. And this microcontroller that we have here is Arduino microcontroller. But I'm just giving you an introduction. We are not going to talk about this. What we are going to focus more is this, and that's what we are going to be dealing with. So this is an Arduino microcontroller, which works like the brain of every robot. This is a drone. Inside of it, we have something like this, but it's small, very small inside of it. And that is actually what controls this drone to fly, to take off, and to also what? To land. So it allows you to take off and also to what? To land. So that's just that about robotics. So this is also a robot, but it's called what? A flying robot or a drone. Okay, do you have any questions? Who has any question? Anybody? A drone. So drone is D-R-O-N-E. Drone is just like the meaning of drone is called unmanned. Somebody asked a question, nobody's listening. Unmanned. Yes, she asked a question, so it's something you can write down. It's for your own benefit. Unmanned area. That's, we should go on break now, right?
Take some time for this.
Okay. Because I'm done already. Yeah. So the meaning of drone is called unmanned area vehicle. The meaning of drone is called unmanned area vehicle. U-N-M-A-N, man. But the N is double N. So it's unmanned area vehicle. That is a vehicle that no human being is inside, but you can actually take off. So unmanned, no human being. Area, something that can go inside the air, something that can lift up. Vehicle, like a car or a bike, you understand? So it's a bike, a car, a plane, any device that can actually go up to the air, but doesn't require human being to be inside. So that's what you call a drone. So you can have something like a vehicle that can also go underwater. That is now an underwater drone. So we have the one that can go above on the air. That is the unmanned area vehicle. You understand? So any vehicle that doesn't require human effort being inside is called a drone. You can have a drone on the ground that moves around. That's called a ground drone. We have the one that goes underwater. It's called the underwater drone. But on this place, we are going to focus more on unmanned area vehicle, which is the UAV. So UAV. That's a good question. All right. Any other questions? It seems this guy wants to go for a break. You want to go for a break now, right? No. He said, I asked any question, he said no. So maybe he doesn't want to, he just wants to go sharp, no time. He has already understood everything. Or should I ask my question now? I ask my question. Okay, who can tell me what they use, what is the function of the battery? In a basic circuit, in an electric circuit, what is the function of a battery? I'm not writing there, so I want you to now tell me what they use battery. It's just, what we are doing today is introduction. We're not doing something so serious. But it's just for you to know what you are dealing with. So when we come next time, I can say, okay, show me the battery, show me the data, let us do something together. Yeah?
Build.
Yeah, we can build something together. You can tell me the function of the battery or switch. You want to tell me battery? Yeah, the function. What is the function of the cell? Battery and cell is the same thing. In this place, I just gave you the different meaning. But you can tell me, just tell me the function of any of them. It's the same thing, cell or battery. But what do they use it for? That's what I'm asking. What is used for in this place? Who can tell me the function of the switch? Since you don't know the battery,
No, no,
you want to tell me the function of the switch? You want to tell me? You want to tell me? Yeah? For the switch, right? Okay, that's good. So you said for on and off, right? Alright, so what about the battery? Nobody wants to talk about battery. This circuit. Okay, so the battery is actually to power the circuit. Your battery on your phone is to power your mobile phone, right? But in this case, you are dealing with circuits, something that can show light. So it means the battery powers the circuit. Yes. So that's just the battery. I did not write it here, but I want you to just think about it and figure it out yourself. So who can tell me the function of the resistor? No, you already have the idea. Let me see.
It reduces the current.
Okay, reduce current. So it means if you have a very powerful battery, and you have an LED, if you reduce the current to the resistor, it won't make your LED to work, to burn out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. I think that's all for now. You want to see something? Which of them? Which of the components? What is the name of the component? You have a switch, okay. Alright, so that's just that. So, hope you learned something. Alright. Yeah? I'm not sure you. You want to see yourself in the video? Don't worry, I'm going to follow. No, go to your seat. Just go to your seat. Alright, so I've actually recorded it about 36 minutes. And I think we enjoyed our class, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Say cheese.
Cheese.